Kogan, Man Cave Classroom, we're analyzing an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
But I think we looked at this and we're like, you know what? We can't resist because
There's
we
a lot
have,
of them.
we have this one and we have this one. I mean, they're all going to say the same thing.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. But
Yep.
I don't think, in the same breath while we're doing that, we can knock out the other few.
Yeah, well, so let's, at the top, New York, Thursday, August 14th, 1873.
Good.
Gets me going on what's going on in 1873.
Yeah.
Well, in the South, like Reconstruction is coming near to an end.
Yep.
Transcontinental Railroad, we're about 4 years into its completion.
Sure.
Homesteaders are pouring out into the Great Plains.
Yep.
On that Transcontinental Railroad and offshoots. But we are also in the midst of the Industrial Revolution. Thousands of miles of railroad track are being laid every single year in this country, and none more influential than that railroads of Cornelius Vanderbilt, the man who consolidates the network of rails in the Northeast.
And the interesting thing interesting about Vanderbilt is that his nickname was the Commodore because he was in the shipping industry,
Yes.
but it was steam engines.
Yes.
I mean, not steam engines, steamships.
Yes.
Now, had he just stuck with ships, I'm sure there's a couple of other videos we did when we're analyzing which grew more, the canals and shipping by canals or by train.
And had he stuck with shipping, he would have gone the way of Blockbuster Video.
Right, that's exactly the analogy I
Yeah.
put up to it.
Yeah.
But he evolved and he went with trains.
Yes.
Now, I think most students, they're able to figure out what's going on this side.
Yes.
And then, so we want to work that way, we'll go here. So
Yeah, and at the bottom, it says the farmer and the railroad monster, which will win? So they're giving us who this guy is.
But
He
the
is some
students
sort of-
they never read that.
Right, and it's
They always get
really hard to see that
Yeah,
anyway.
it is. And
Um,
everybody gets confused as to who he is. In
Yeah,
the beginning.
so obviously we have the train.
Yep.
It is built, it is a monster. Its grating looks like teeth, eyes, claws, thick black smoke. It's really, really long.
Yep.
Really, really large size in political cartoons usually indicates wealth, usually indicates power. And yeah, it's fighting against, average Joe farmer over here who's trying to fight back the growth of the railroads with the national authority.
Yep.
The Constitution, interstate commerce, all those things that we're trying to fight with.
And what students get tripped up is that they go, okay, well, the farmer is upset with the train because the train is going through his property. And that's not it at all.
Not at all.
The farmer needs to ship his goods to the market, and he has to do it by train.
Yes.
Now, the thing is that the train, these big train companies are only offering rebates or discounts to their biggest customers. And who's their biggest customers at the time? Standard Oil. That's your big one.
Standard Oil, Carnegie Steel. Yeah.
And they pretty much forced them
Yeah.
to offer
Yeah.
a discount, or else I'll take my business elsewhere, and your company will be done.
And had the farmer, I guess, kind of getting into like foreshadowing, had the farmers almost unionized
Right.
and said, well, like, we're not going to ship with you, but farmers were small local farmers.
Right.
Many of them were poor to start with. That's why they went out to the Great Plains and took advantage of the Homestead Act in the first place.
Right.
So there really, it was,
And you're not going to find too many. You're not going to find too many political
No.
cartoons where farmers have a pitchfork on the White House
Yeah.
and the Capitol
yeah.
and having that influence.
And
They
saying
don't have that power.
this train has got its coil
Yep.
wrapped around the Capitol building, wrapped around the White House, because Vanderbilt and the railroads basically control the government.
Yep.
Through corrupt payments to politicians.
And it's kind of a common theme because when we go to these other political cartoons here, here we have
Again, a railroad monster on the rampage.
another monster.
Yeah.
This one, the color and the illustration is pretty cool.
But again, we have our farmers. Definitely you can tell they're impoverished based on the clothing that they're wearing. She got a little cat.
Yep.
Destroying the homes. This was the building of the South Pacific Railroad, I think we said.
Yep.
Even this one, I love this one.
This one's awesome.
Because it almost shows the ignorance of the rest of the country as to the power the railroad had over them. These are all, just your customers waiting for the railroad, and the farmer's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And the train itself, it's the consolidated railroads that Vanderbilt consolidates most of the railroads in the Northeast. They're using unscrupulous business tactics.
Not nice words.
Extortion, bribery, usurpation,
Oh my gosh.
oppression. The word monopoly
Oh.
is even thrown out over here when you control all or nearly all of the industry, business in a particular industry. And he's like trying to warn America. about the growth of the railroads. And hey, we're the ones who are getting hurt, but you know, this guy is almost like checking his watch, like what time is it going to get here? And again, the farmers were the ones who were suffering.
This is a great one. Yep.
You know, if you grow, I made this in class, like, all right, I've created $1,000 worth of wheat. I need to ship that off to market to make money. Well, I have no hold over the railroad. They have power over me, and they're going to charge me $500 to ship my $1,000 worth of wheat.
So how much are you making
I'm
off
only
of
making
this?
$500.
You know, you're really not making much.
And that's because, you know, of that consolidation of the railroads, of the creation of the pools, where it's like, this is my area, that's your area.
Right.
We had basically, a pool is the beginning of a monopoly.
Yep.
We jack up the prices, lower it for our best customers, give them the discounts, but we jack up the prices on the average farmers.
Now, even though, you know, we're looking here and the common theme is that the farmer is going to be hurt as well, you know, we're also going to see in this unit as we're moving forward, you know, not only is the farmer going to be hurt in this unit, but we're also talking about your workers, your middle class too. So you're getting like a little taste of it. Okay, if this is what's happening with the farmers, what's happening to other people in the population who might be in the same financial situation as the farmers?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Anything else? These are really cool.
No, really cool.
I can't wait to use these. All right, well, good. Thanks for watching.